Not so loud. Hi, this is Sometimes Seriously Speaking. I'm Todd Diedrich, and this is our guest today, DJ Chilcutt. And what's the date today? November 10th, 2012?
Yeah.
Okay, just a few days after the election.
Mm-hmm.
Big year. Yeah. It's a big year, so, well, what do you think? Are you surprised?
Well, I voted for Romney.
You did?
I'm going to be upfront and honest with that because people aren't always honest with it. They're like, I'm not telling you who I voted for.
You know, yeah, I find that interesting as well, that a lot of people don't want to talk about. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Well, today we were actually in shopping earlier. Where was that? Where was that? Kmart, Walmart? And there was Chia Pet presidential heads.
Okay.
And it was Romney and Obama.
I was looking at the
Pet.
SpongeBob one, but okay.
Yeah, well, I saw the presidential one, so I thought that that was quite interesting. Yeah, I guess pretty surprised, at least some people are, that Obama won. You know, in all honesty, you know, I guess if you keep on doing what you're doing, you're going to keep on getting what you're getting.
You know what I don't get is how come, like, before the whole thing's all over, it says CNN projects that Obama has won. Now, does that potentially say what the outcome of the election is going to be? When, you know, so we could say Sometimes Seriously Speaking is going to say that President Obama.
Well, there's actually an online news organization that announced in September that Obama was going to win, and they were criticized for that. And then here we are, and Obama did win. I guess you know, the one thing I find that's kind of interesting is that it seems that everybody I know is unhappy. Everybody. I mean, you know, people just they're unemployed. They don't have jobs. People that I know that own businesses, they say they can't find anybody to work for them. People that wanted to retire, their retirement funds have tanked. Real estate values have just plummeted. Nobody's happy. Nobody's happy that I know. And
but we did talk about people who are on welfare maybe more happier with the presidential election outcome.
Well, you know, and that came with a lot of rhetoric, and you know, the rhetoric's starting to die down now on the internet. But you know, people are making a big deal. Well, Obama won't show his birth certificate, and then you know, pro-Obama people say, well, Romney won't show his tax returns, and I, you know, I guess it's interesting in terms of the Constitution stating that the President of the United States does have to be born in the United States. So you would think that there would be an obligation of a president or someone running for president to prove that they were in fact born in the United States, because it is part of the Constitution.
Well, hasn't he proved it? He can't be the president without proving it, right?
Well, I don't know if have you seen anything that shows he's proved it?
No.
I haven't either, and a lot of people seem to be making a big deal out of that. But and the rhetoric is starting to die down. But one of the things that you know, the pro-Romney supporters were saying was, the only ones voting for Obama are the ones on public assistance, or the ones who are receiving some type of governmental benefit. That's.
But you can kind of see that trend with the election results for our county and how many people are actually on, you know, government assistance.
Well, actually, you know, in our county,
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but you can kind of see the trend of the point you made.
Well, when you say our county, we're in Michigan, which obviously has one of the poorest economies in the United States as far as states are concerned, and then we happen to be in a county that's about the third poorest county in Michigan.
And Michigan's like the poorest state in the United States, so you do the math.
So right, we're literally in one of the poorest areas.
Harrison
in the
will
United
probably
States.
have to be one of the poorest towns in the county.
Well, that's probably true. That's probably true. So we're at the pretty low of the low, and our county actually voted for Romney.
Yeah.
So that, you know, so it kind of goes against the whole belief that people, you know, getting governmental assistance.
I was under the understanding. I'm sorry. I guess I didn't do as much research as I should have, but I was under the understanding that this county actually elected Obama.
No.
At one time, it was looking like it.
Oh, it was very close. You know, it was very close, and you know, they say, you know, the show ain't over till the fat lady sings, and they're, you know, as in all elections, until everybody gets their vote counted.
And you saw that a lot, like with Ringelberg and with the other people running for office here in this town. It looked like the opposite party who won was doing better in the election.
Well, and I think it just depends on, you know, the timing of the counting of the regions of where they're counting the vote. So, but
I went to bed election night believing that we were going to have a different prosecuting attorney, and
so you're talking locally.
Yeah, I was very excited, and then when I woke up the next day, I'm like, well, was 9 and 10 wrong? Was there a miscount? You know, what happened? I guess all the, you know.
Well,
you
know what? All the elections, it doesn't matter what it is. It's not over till it's over. It's not over till every single person's ballot is counted. So,
Okay.
but the one thing I want to talk about was you brought up a good point about people on governmental assistance and so forth. You know, a trend I've been seeing in this country for a long time is they like to, when I say they, I'm talking about the media and the government, like to talk a lot about unemployment rates, unemployment percentages. And they're talking about people who are actually on unemployment. And I think it's got to be one of the biggest scams being sold to the United States Americans right now going. Because you can't count what percentage or what number of people are receiving unemployment benefits. What you have to look at
Are you anonymous when you know, like you have food stamps or insurance? Are you anonymous?
Well, let me go back to the point I was trying to make about unemployment. What they do is they say, well, look, unemployment rates have dropped. Okay, well, that could be a number of things. It doesn't mean that somebody got jobs. If it dropped by 5%, it doesn't mean that 5% of the individuals got jobs. It could be that the 5% actually ran out of their benefits, and now they're no longer entitled to unemployment benefits. It doesn't mean, when they say these are the unemployment rates, it doesn't mean that this is the percentage of Americans that are actually unemployed. And I think that that's more what we have to start looking at, because what the working class is saying and why they're so tired is that they're goes, hey, we go to work every day, we pay our taxes, you're taking taxes out of us, and we're not feeling a benefit from it. And we're watching people across the street or across our neighborhood, and they aren't working, and they're receiving all these benefits, and they don't want to work, they're not trying to work. Why should we be out there all day long taking money away from our families so we can support those families over there, and they aren't participating?
Yeah, and you also made you own several properties yourself. You made a good point to me about the government subsidized housing units in Clare County. Because, you know, it not only hurts you as a taxpayer, but as a landlord.
Well, you know, and I don't think it's just limited to Clare County.
Yeah.
I think it's going on all over the country where, you know, being a landlord isn't necessarily lucrative because in a lot of towns across America, there are government subsidized housing, and it's hard to compete with that.
But here's another point. What about possibly someone living in one of these housing units who worked for the government and they were laid off because of the government? I don't know.
I don't know either. But you know, I guess the bottom line is people working, the people that have tried hard to do the right things, who are going to jobs, going to work every day, starting businesses, they're getting tired. They're tired of watching their hard-earned dollars.
They're tired of hearing
away.
this. They're tired of hearing this.
Yes, they're very tired of hearing that. I think they're very, very tired of hearing that. And I did not get this in this election. I actually got this the first time around.
You voted for Obama the first time?
You know, well, I'm not going to tell you who I voted for.
Oh, you're one of those people. We were just talking about that. So,
but that's not my point. I mean, the point is the president of the United States, and I think it's neat to have some memorabilia of who the president is. You know, people are just tired. They're fed up. They're fed up. Landlords, the market, the real estate market is just tanked, but you still owe X number of dollars on a mortgage.
It's getting worse every day.
And it's hard to get someone to come in and pay the rent to help you pay for the mortgage when right down the street there's government subsidized housing and people pay $25 a month for rent. You cannot compete with that as a landlord. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. And people are just getting tired. And well, you know.
Well,
Obama's the president, and this is where we're at.
When we were in Holt Lake today, we saw like that grocery store that was abandoned, and then we saw like that Wendy's, and then we went out to eat at the other little strip area. I counted 5 different vacant buildings in that whole plaza.
You know, and that's something I want to talk about maybe in another episode, because what's going on in a lot of these small towns across America is small governments becoming big government.
Okay.
And small governments like townships and small cities, their governments are running local business people out of business because of overtaxation, over zoning, over ordinancing, one size fits all zoning, one size fits all ordinances, and it's hard to come into a small rural community where there's not a lot of population to sustain a business and create a successful business.
It's like a perfect storm right here.
It is. It is. You got to meet all the obligations of zoning and ordinances and it's
amazing someone starts a new business these days.
It is. You know, you're taking a huge risk at any avenue when you do try to start.
Have you ever heard this statistically of how many businesses actually fail? how many new businesses? I
You know,
heard
it's
it
been
was
a
like
while.
astronomical.
It is. It's a very high percent, and they say most businesses don't last 2 years.
No,
Within the first years of business is
unless you got
the-
billions of dollars to
the
back you
litmus
up.
test.
You're, you know.
I don't know about billions, but definitely need to have some type of secondary income to keep a lot of businesses going, especially in these small towns.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I think a lot of small towns, they try to keep out big corporations like Walmart, Walgreens,
Yeah.
Kmart.
I think our town's doing a good job at doing that myself.
I don't know that any of them want to come here. To be honest with you. But hey, this is sometimes
These aisles aren't big enough for my walker.
Yeah, that's probably right. So hey, we're Sometimes Seriously Speaking, and we hope to see you very soon. Check out our Facebook page, and we got a couple of videos on there already, and we'll be bringing topics of interest to you. If you have any questions that you'd like to see us address, please feel free to send us an email at todd@todddiedrich.com or on our Facebook page at Sometimes Seriously Speaking.